Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And now we are going to talk about movie review. Door to Door film. Door to Door is a 2002 American movie about Bill Porter. It is based on true story of Bill Porter's life, an inspiring and successful door-to-door salesman with cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is a neurological disorder that caused by non-progressive brain injury or malformation that occurs while child's brain is under development. Cerebral palsy primarily affects body movement and muscle coordination. The setting of the movie. There are so many years that mentioned in this movie. October 1955, February 1962, May 1980, and December 1970, and March 1996, and the last, October 1997. The setting of time represent Bill Porter's journey or career to become an inspiring and successful door-to-door salesman with cerebral palsy. The movie sets in the city that's named Portland. There are also so many places that show in this movie, but I will restrict it to the main places. There are 4 main places that often show in this movie. Bill Porter House, and then Watkins Company, the worst selling route of Watkins Company. In this movie, just mention one street. It is Chestnut Street. And the last, the houses of his buyer. The characters in this movie. There are so many characters in this movie, but I will explain the main characters and their personality. Bill Porter. I can describe him as a confident person with himself. He is grateful for everything he gets in his life. He is kind-hearted. He is patient. And he is persistent. He is ambitious. He never gives up to get what he wants in this life. He is also funny and devoted child. But the other side, he is very independent and stubborn person. Mrs. Porter. She is wise, responsible, good, and care parent. Sally. She is a good friend. She is kind-hearted. She is a care person, and she is a beautiful woman. And then Mr. Hernandez. He is a good boss. And then we talk about Larry, Charlotte, Bob, and Rhonda. They are neighbors, but they always fight with each other. They are selfish, they are stubborn, but the worst is Larry. He is a bad father. He is a bad man because he is a cheater. Mrs. Sullivan. She is gloomy, desperate, and sad person. But she likes to help Bill Porter, and the other side, she is kind and good person. And then Ellen and Brad. They are guy couple. Ellen is a cold person, but Brad is a friendly and flexible person. And the next is Peter. He is the next chair of Watkins Company. He's a little bit arrogant and he doesn't know how to treat the other people except this person is useful for him. And the last, John. John is Sally's boyfriend. He is friendly. He is clever. He is a good, and he is a good friend. There are so many characters in this movie, also the main characters. So the characters that I like the most, I have two characters that I like the most. But if we talk the most that I like, I will say the characters that I like the most is Bill Poulter. Because he really knows how to respect and confident with himself. It's like he doesn't know. It doesn't like he doesn't know his leg. He knows it very well, but exactly from it, he knows his position and what his value in his life. He doesn't want to treat like disabled person because for him, he is not disabled person. He is a common human being like the others. He is a human being. He can get what he wants. And his heart works to make people treat and to make people see and to make people agree with him as how he sees himself is very inspiring. We can feel his ambition and it affects us so much, especially for me. It affects me so much. Besides that, I also like Mrs. Porter. She gives me a real picture of parents. She accompanies her child no matter what. When the sun rises and the rain downs, she is always beside him. She believes with him. I think this is very incredible if our parents treat us like this. And then, the other side or the other reason why I like Bill Poulter so much because he is a devoted child. He doesn't leave his mother when she is not well again. Even though his situation is not better than his mother, he doesn't leave her. This is very incredible as a child. As we know, there are so many childs in this area that abandon their parents because they don't want to take care of them. This is very sad. And Bill Poulter gives us advice. And the characters that I don't really like, same as like the characters that I like, I have some characters that I don't like. But the most that I don't like is Peter. Because he is a little bit arrogant. And he doesn't know how to treat, how to talk with the other people, especially his senior. Bill Poulter is his senior in Watkins Company. As a good junior, we must treat our senior with a good way. We talk to him with a good way, but Peter doesn't do that. And I don't like him because he doesn't know how to treat and how to talk with his senior. At the other side, she is also a very confident person. She thinks he is the only one. He thinks he is the best one. The next character that I don't really like is, of course, Larry. He is a bad father. He is a bad man. And he is a cheater. He cheats on Charlotte. And the next character that I don't like is Guy couple. Ellen and Brad. I don't like them because I don't tolerate a guy couple and I don't tolerate LGBT. That's the reason. The plot of the movie. The beginning of the movie, it is started on October 1955. The setting of place is in Bill Porter's house. There are his mother and Bill Porter. Mrs. Porter has been ironing Bill Porter's suit and Bill Porter has been polishing his shoes. They also watch baseball competition and talk about it. Mrs. Porter helps Bill Porter to put his suit and she says to Bill Porter, "You look like a million." Then she orders him to look in the mirror and she gives him advice about hard work. She says that people may take a time to accept Bill Porter, so Bill Porter needs to be patient and persistent. Obvious, Bill Porter will apply job in Watkins' company, and Mrs. Porter waits in the front of car while Bill Porter applies job in Watkins' company. At the first time, Mr. Hernandez, the chair of Watkins' company, rejects him. Mr. Hernandez gives a logical reason that Bill Porter is not matched with this job. Because being salesman, we need to have a perfect body. We need to have a body in a good condition. Because being salesman, we need to walk in a good way, we need to talk in a good way with the other people, and we need to carry a lot of things from one house to another. And disabled person like Bill Porter doesn't match with this job. Bill Porter feels so sad to hear it. And then he gets out from Mr. Hernandez's office very sadly. In front of Watkins' company, he looks at his mother. Mrs. Porter looks at him too, smiles, and still looks good and happy. Even though she knows Bill Porter is being rejected by Watkins' company. After seeing his mother, Bill Porter doesn't want to give up. He enters the Watkins company again and he beseeches to Mr. Hernandez. Mr. Hernandez still rejects him with the same reason and same reaction. But until Mr. Hernandez hearing Bill Porter ask Mr. Hernandez to give him his was rude. Mr. Hernandez thinks for a few minutes and he finally agrees, and Bill Porter finally is being accepted in Watkins company. He gets out from Watkins company with happy face and smile. Mrs. Porter, that has been worrying during Bill Porter enters the company again, she looks surprised at him when Bill Porter carries briefcase. Briefcase means Bill Porter has been accepted. They directly go to the worst route, and Mrs. Porter says again that Bill Porter needs to be patient and persistent. And then, the first house that Bill Porter visits is a gray house with barking dog. He cancels to visit this house because the dog. The second dog that Bill Porter visits is Larry and Charlotte's house. But Larry doesn't pay attention when Bill Porter describes their product because he looks at the police. He looks at the police that he has called before because he wants to report Bob and Rhonda. Because Bob and Rhonda have been cutting their tree. They all finally fight and no one listens to Bill Porter. Bill Porter leaves the house. Next, Bill Porter visits the third house. He is also rejected by the own house and he closes the door in front of Bill Porter. And then the woman in the house asks the man, "Who is that?" The man or the own house says it was from charity. Bill Poulter visits the fourth house. It is belong to a dog smoking woman with their barking dog. While he introduces their product, her child comes. Bill Poulter talks to him, but he runs because he's scary to see Bill Poulter. The fifth house is the worst because he presurously wants to give Bill Poulter donation. Bill Poulter feels angry and he leaves the house as fast as he can. The scene continues when Bill Poulter has lunch. He is desperate a little bit, but when he opens his lunchbox, on his sandwich there are two words that his mother writes for him. It is patience and persistence. After seeing it, Bill Poulter feels exciting again. And then Bill Poulter visits the sixth house, Mrs. Sylvian's house. Finally, before the day is over, Bill Poulter succeeds to sell their product. Its price $50 to Mrs. Sylvian. The fourth day, Bill Poulter works. He gets problem child's mothers call Watkins Company. Child's mother from Chestnut Street. She reports that Bill Poulter scares her child. To fix problem, Bill Poulter pleasant and forgive to her child with talking doll. But the real problem starts when one day Bill Poulter's mother forgot to pick him at 5 p.m. in the evening like she usually does. Until Bill Poulter comes home, his mother is not in their house. Bill Poulter starts to panic and he calls police. A few minutes later, Mrs. Porter is delivered by police to their house. She doesn't remember anything about her life clearly. She gets Alzheimer's disease. In the middle of the movie, it started on February 1962. Bill Poulter lives alone. He commands his mother in the house like car center that's near from his work, so he can visit his mother every day. But it is a bad place because the owner doesn't treat his mother well. He moves his mother to their house again, but it is not work. So he decides to bring his mother to real care center that so far from his house for a better treatment. Because Bill lives alone, he doesn't have anyone to help him pairing his suit. So he always goes to the Monarca Plaza Hotel. The office boy and the policer will always help him because Bill always tells them a funny story. It is different every day and they are very interesting with it. Bill still works and he gets customer again. That is Brett and Ellen. At this time, the neighbor also became his customer like Mrs. Sylvian. December 1970, Bill gets warning from his doctor that he cannot work again if he still carries and delivers his products alone because his back is not well again. His doctor suggests to find another people for doing delivering job. He meets Sally, a student from Portland University. Sally becomes his assistant in his job also to take care of his daily activity as cooking, driving, putting his suit and the others, like his mother did before she gets sick. There are so many sad events in the middle of the movie. Charlotte finds Larry cheats on her, Brent and Ellen have been fighting, and the saddest, Mrs. Porter is died. Bill Poulter is very sad. May 1980. After for several years Sally has been becoming Bill's assistant, she finishes her study. At this year, we can say Bill Poulter's year to shine because he wins the Sale of the Year of Watkins Company. There is also farewell party for Mr. Hernandez. This is also the first time Bill meets Peter. Peter underestimates him to Mr. Hernandez when Mr. Hernandez talks about Bill. But after Bill wins Sales of the Year, Peter is surprised. Bill gets it after selling 43,000 US dollar. At the end of the movie, March 1996, Peter becomes head of Watkins Company. There are so many things has changed. The worst, there is nothing division of door-to-door salesman. Because the era has changed, Bill feels so sad until he doesn't look the traffic light. He is hit by the bus. October 1997. Bill decides to quit from Watkins Company and quit being salesman. Until the boy from Chestnut Street, the boy that scary sees him, writes article about him in newspaper with a title Door to Door. At the first time, Bill doesn't want the boy from Chestnut Street writes article about him, but after he read it, he decides that he will work again as door-to-door salesman, even though the era has changed. The part of the movie that I like the best is the beginning of the movie. Because according to me, at the beginning part is the most emotional part. At first, we are confronted so many kinds of situations, starting from Bill Poulter's situation that we can say unpredictable. How he finally accepts in the Watkins Company at the same time we as a viewer know he is disabled person. His situation makes us wonder and I still wonder how can disabled person accept in the company. But with Bill Poulter situation, we can prove there is nothing impossible if we want to try. The other reason why I like at the beginning part, I like when the movie tells about hard work. Of course, the other part of these movies are also about hard work, but the most amazing hard work part is the beginning part. Movie or part of movie that describes things like this always makes me exciting and also affected. The scene of the beginning of the movie that's affected me so much is the scene when Bill Poulter has lunch. And on his sandwich, there are two words that his mother has written to remind Bill Poulter about the meaning of hard work. The scene that shows the struggle of child and his mother is very affected. The scene that I don't really like in this movie is at the ending part when Bill Poulter feels desperate about himself. I mean anything. Bill Poulter as a confident person and he respects himself as much as he can. But when he feels desperate about himself, he is not Bill Poulter that I know from the start. Even though I can't tolerate the change of era makes Bill Poulter is wonder, but I think he can't think straight about the problem like he did when people think the disabled person cannot be salesman. The scene that I don't really like at the ending of the movie is when Bill Poulter rejects Joy Child from Chestnut Street writes article about him. I think this is the worst treating that Bill Poulter does to himself, because rejecting to write about how people adore himself is sound. How Bill Poulter doesn't know his value again, and his spirit has really count. As I know, if we respect our success, we may feel grateful for it, and we may feel proud of it. And still the worst, after Joy wrote about it, he doesn't respect it with his action, that he doesn't want to read about the article. And the scene that very makes me annoying, after he reads the article, he feels exciting. I mean, why he doesn't read it from the start and don't become a stubborn person? What can I learn from this movie? There are so many advices that I can take from this movie. I will explain it one by one. The first, proud of yourself first, and then people will be proud of you. Respect yourself first, and then people will respect you. At simple sentence, people will treat you how you treat yourself. It doesn't make sense if we want people respect us, love us, proud of us, kind to us, except we do it first to ourselves. The way so we can proud of ourselves, know yourself first, what your likes are and what your values are, so we can love ourselves. We cannot love ourselves before we have known who we are. Second, don't ever underestimate a disabled person. Even though we know he or she doesn't like the other person, but they are still human being, having feelings, having skills, having rights, like us, a common human being. Third, don't always see the world using money. Because sometimes there are some people that really care about you, like how Sally cares with Bill Poulter as a friend. And sometimes it doesn't matter to accept helping from people that care about you. Fourth, be devoted child. As a child, we must take care of our parent no matter what. The fifth, like our English department's proverb, where there is a will, there is a way. We need to make Bill Poulter as our idol, to make us more exciting to undergo our life. If we face problem, we should not give up, still trying, still fighting, until your last blood. The sixth, no one of people can stop or forbid you to have dream, even though for some logic reason on people's eyes you are not worth it. But dreams, having dreams for our life is our right. The seventh, be a logic person. In this life, there is nothing that's still forever. The world is changed every time, so as a people too. There are sometimes we are above and sometimes we are below, like Bill Poulter being salesman. Before 1996, salesman is the choice of people, but after it, the world has changed. Also people. Bill Poulter actually should accept it because he has spent his year. We need to accept it. Each year there is a person. Each person they have their year. Because this movie has so many moral story, I will recommend all people to watch it. Young, old, also child. But the most important people that I will recommend are students as me. May after watching this movie, we will still be exciting and be brave to fight with our dreams. And I think that's all about my movie review. See you on next video, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.